Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. We are here to discuss that match preview of Chelsea versus Leicester, which is happening tomorrow. We'll be doing the team lineups, we're doing the bulletins, going through the head-to-heads. But before we get into the match preview, we're going to talk a little bit about Chelsea, where Chelsea are at again. I know we've done this at the news show yesterday. A little bit more news on the Roman Abramovich side of things and the deal going on there. There's also talks in regards to certain players as well, certain players potentially coming to Chelsea as well. So got all of that to talk about shortly. But before we move forward, guys, hope you are all having a good day. Hope you are all ready. Hope you are all, I'm just looking, what's that next to me? What is that? Girl things. Get over there, man. Hope you guys are having a good day and stuff. My microphone's broken. Just to give you a heads up, you probably can't see my mic at the moment. Usually I have it up to here, but it's actually on my table at the moment because it's broke. So, yeah, we're going to talk, as long as you can hear me and I'm all clear, I'm happy to continue with the show. But we're going to start with news around Roman Abramovich and Todd Boehly. Then we're going to talk about some player news that came out today as well and the Chelsea interest from there. And then we're going to delve into the match preview, talk about the lineups. We know that Tuchel's going live at 1:30 to clarify who's available and who ain't available as well. So we've got all of that to go through. Only a minute in, over 23 of you guys here. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV, and I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. Big up to everyone in the chat already. Over 25 of you guys here. We're going to delve into the usual Todd Boehly stuff, player stuff, and like I said, we're going to go into some of the game as well later on tomorrow. I won't be around for tomorrow's stream, but back Friday for the match reaction to the Leicester game. But I want to go through the chat first and say hello to everyone. Big up to Ads in the house. Big Ron, good afternoon, everyone. Texas Blue, who says, big up, Jim. Big up, chat. Top four secured, hopefully, finally. Yeah, we'll see. Seppers, big up to you. Daniel Knight, big up to you. Declared. M3, CFC Stephen. Aporvike, Surfs, Big Ron, Athan. I think Koundé is going to be a good young centre-back, and 70 mil is a lot to put on a young and unproven player. Untrue, my friend. It is not 70 mil. We're going to be talking about that in a bit, Athan, as well. Koundé news to come your way. Dembélé news to come your way. A couple of other players news to come in as well. We're also going to be talking, starting with the Boehly thing. Big up to Matthew in the house as well. Hope you are well. Romanali would be the perfect replacement for Rudiger, especially because he's free during the summer. Now, Romanali's a player that has been linked to many, many teams. Chelsea, from what we understand, are linked to him. Whether or not it happens or what, yet to be seen. Just need to get this and new owner announced, so then we can see what route Chelsea are going in. Are they going to go for the Koundés? Are they going to go for the Romanali's? Like, what is their plan of attack? What areas and positions are this football club going to target first? And that's the biggest question. Olijo says not unproven. He's not unproven either. Not unproven. He's not unproven. Yeah, young unproven. That's yeah. I didn't even see that at the end. Yeah, that's wrong as well. That's very wrong, Nathan. That's not true, my man. But that's your preference. That's how you see it. Then that's fine. But that is not true. From what you're saying there. Right. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get in. He is pretty. Yeah, he is. He's one of the biggest young talents across world football at the moment. That doesn't mean he's not Princeton. Big up to you, my man. Nice to see you as well. What happened to my original? What's all this? Where is it? Oh, God. There we go. Yeah, let's put this in the front. All right, let's get into this. We've got a couple of things I want to start with. We're going to start with Roman Abramovich news to start everything off. And we're going to start with the comments that came out earlier this morning. Now, originally, we saw a comment come out from Nick Porral, who said that Roman Abramovich remains hopeful of striking a legal resolution to usher through the hashtag Chelsea sale, but the UK government is yet to agree any terms. Now, I told you guys yesterday where I feel we stand, whether it's right or wrong. I don't have any insiders. I don't have anyone linked to the club. I just say how I feel. I'm not a fake Nathaniel that walks around pretending he's got sources. Yeah, for example. I just say it as I see it. And when I said to you guys yesterday that even though the OD test had been approved and that I felt that the government approval would come along with it, after we finished the show yesterday, you saw a lot of things steering to that way, basically saying that, you know, that the government's set and ready to go, the OD test is ready to go. I still feel that we're in a position where the club are preparing a statement to announce this. This thing of they're not yet to agree terms, I don't think is true. Personally, I always feel like we're 20 steps behind what the real truth is. And then we had this comment come from Martin Ziegler. Said Roman Abramovich's people believe they found a solution over the 1.6 billion debt, but the deal is not done and dusted, as the government are yet to reach a legal resolution over the Chelsea sale. That don't make sense to me. Legal resolution over the sale. What? The only thing that could potentially be, I'm trying to understand it without actually fully being told what they're trying to say here, but the only legal resolution behind the sale of Chelsea, if Todd Boehly's passed all the approvals and the checks from Rain Group, this, that, and the other, then the only thing that the government have to do, which is left, is to make sure that the money that's being funded is legit. But this had been done by Rain Group anyway. The Premier League, I'm sure, would have run their own checks based on this as well. So I just feel that a lot of this news that we've heard this morning is just a stall to what has actually happened. I do feel that the government are being forced into a corner. We spoke about what's his name, Mark, was it Primrose yesterday, about him, the owner of UNICEF, you know, pushing the government to get this announced, get this put forward, get this resolved at a quicker stage, you know. And I think there's too much at hand that needs to be sorted, is what I'm trying to get at this point. We got to Devin in the house, M3. Nice to see you as always. I'm hoping with the new ownership we go into the quality players. We're going to talk about players in a bit, and then we're going to do the match preview as well, guys. So much to go through as well. But make sure we're getting them likes up, because at the moment we've only got, can't see it, 23 likes. 23 likes, over 50, nearly 60 people in the chat already. Let's get them likes up, people, if we can. So Thomas Tuchel, as you know, has got his press conference. We're going to learn about players. We will do that proposed team lineup as well. But then news broke. Before we go to Absolute Chelsea's one, we'll go to CFC Pies, because we are going to move on to players. We've done a lot of talking about Todd Boehly and whatever yesterday. I want to talk about the links to Chelsea and the players that have come in. And we had a bit of a break-in, which was released by Nizar Kinsella and a man called Pacoricolo Zolonono. I can't even say his name. Sorry, mate. Paco Rico. Probably better for me to say. Paco Rico. Breaking. Goal has learned that terms of this contract for Koundé to Chelsea have been agreed. The only thing left is to close the agreement with Sevilla. A price of around 70 million euros is mentioned in order for Sevilla to balance the accounts. Now, when you read down, obviously, Kynes has commented here as well, saying that Jules Koundé has agreed to join Chelsea this summer. Sevilla need to do the deal before the 30th of June. Chelsea have also looked at Kimpembe, Joshko, Jimenez, Declan Rice, Tchouameni, and Kurilla ahead of the window. Now, looking is cool, but are we talking? Are we making ourselves an option to these players? Because we know that we can negotiate. And in regards to Jules Koundé, we kind of know, or have known for a very long time, that he was going to be a Chelsea player. It's just a matter of time. I do expect that when Todd Boehly is announced, this to be pushed forward. Now, the fact that Sevilla themselves, and this is where we will switch away from Jules Koundé and go over to Absolute Chelsea's comment here. Yeah. When you look at the talk here in regards to Jules Koundé, obviously it says here that his plans to sign Jules Koundé. So Chelsea have put plans in place to sign Jules Koundé as soon as Todd Boehly's takeover is complete. The defender has a verbal agreement to join the club. So the only real thing left to do is to get an agreement with Sevilla. And when you look at the response here, so this is why I said to Athan in the chat. So Sevilla need to raise 38 million before June the 30th, and are asking for 59 million sterling for the French international. Now, let me tell you this now. I said to you guys that if Chelsea Football Club can get anything done in the regions of 50 million to 60 million for Jules Koundé, then we have done a very good job. There is a number of reasons why that sort of figure for him is very good. Yes, we know that he's not Premier League proven. I get that. We still have to see that. But to see what Thomas Tuchel has done with players that are, let's be serious, very average in our team, who hopefully will be leaving, some of them, tells me that taking on a talent like Koundé, working with Tuchel, and playing in a system that I think he will even benefit more from. Because for Seville, he plays in a back four. A lot of the times they play as a solid back four. In a back three system as a wing back, I think it gives him more. It brings up more of his ability, is what I'm trying to say. The versatile of the player himself, the fact that he's able to move. See if Miss Arkansas said it on there actually. The fact that he's able to move from position to position as well is a good thing. You know what? We'll quickly go into that Jules Koundé article as well. Let's look into that Jules Koundé article, which is right here. So, Chelsea want to sign Koundé, blah 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 blah. Already know the Blues have kickstarted the big defense. This is no real big surprise to me. It's just a matter of when. I thought he'd be our first signing. You know, before the Perisic news come out. I do feel that we've got verbal agreements with players like Koundé, maybe Perisic, maybe other players, bigger players that we're not aware of at the moment, which will come out of the woodwork once we get the announcement. But the 24-year-old has a verbal agreement in place about moving this summer and wants to transfer to Stamford Bridge. Blah, 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 blah. So the Liga outfit need to raise around 38 million to balance the books before June the 30th. So basically, they've got to sell Jules Koundé before June the 30th. Chelsea Football Club will have their new owner, hopefully by the end of this week. So that's a month ahead before Sevilla need the money. If the verbal agreement between Koundé is there, then the only real thing left for us to sort out is the agreement with the club. That can probably be done pretty quickly. In the fact that they're actually now willing to sell him. The talks are around 59 million sterling, which equivalates to about $73 million, which is about 70 million euros. No, probably be a little bit less. But, you know, the France international defender who can play at centre-back or right-back. Thomas Tuchel had a meal with a prospective new owner, Todd Bowley, last week, but the par didn't speak about transfers. Still, there is no understanding around the club and Bowley, blah, blah, blah. He paid money for it. I'm not reading into that. Yeah, and then it's going into about Chelsea doing more transfer business as well. Obviously, Conor Gallagher is expected to return. We know Jules, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, Alonso, and Cesar Azpilicueta could be on their way out the door as well. But there's also been talks around us being interested in Kimpembe, Jimenez, etc., etc., etc. Tchouaméni, Declan Rice talks are also there as well. And there's also talks about the Robert Lewandowski scenario, which says that Chelsea could sign attackers, but only depending on the player's sales, and are aware of that. So it really depends on who wants to stay and who wants to go and who Chelsea should keep moving forward, because you look at the forward line and we know ourselves we need to improve on it. But bringing in just that one player is probably not going to give us the consistency that we require to challenge. Because that one player may be a very good player and we may become heavily reliant on them. But not having the right chemistry is still an issue. Now, the biggest problem with this forward line for me and what I've seen, I feel that there's a chemistry issue. And I don't feel that these players really work together well enough. And Thomas Tuchel has proven that. Because how many times has Thomas Tuchel had to switch, had to try and adapt this team to different styles of systems, different players? You know, I think Havertz and Mount have good chemistry, personally. But other than that, it becomes more of an issue. But in terms of, to finish off on Jules Koundé, he's, for me, one of the most important players for us to get done straight away. And to just bring someone in like him without even having to drag it out is probably the right word, is a good thing for us, because then it gives us more time to concentrate on other things. We know we still need a new centre-back. Are we going to concentrate on the DM area? Some people think Jorginho's going to go. Some people may think he'll stay. N'Golo Kante, will he stay or go? We have to wait and see. But it doesn't still answer the question of it still doesn't answer. It doesn't basically sort out it doesn't basically sort out the other positions that we still need to sort out. So bringing in a Koundé is good, and it's the right step in the right place. But we know we need other positions, and this is where it's going to be interesting. Are Todd Boehly and whatever else going to be aggressive this summer? Are they not? Are they going to give Tuchel a couple, 3 or 4 players, and then maybe the other 2 or 3 plus players that we need to give us to allow us to compete, should we say, may come at a later stage. Just depends how aggressive this new owner will be. Once he's announced, I do expect us to learn more about his strategy, his ideas, who he wants to bring in, what he wants, not who he wants to bring in, but what he wants to do with this football club, whether it's going to be getting us on it straight away or giving us a 2-3 year project and allowing Tuchel to understand that, but still giving him players, because we have to buy players anyway because we're losing too many. So there's a lot of things that I think we're going to have to wait and see on people. But guys, make sure we smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We really need to clear some of our deadwood. I agree with Gary. There is many players in the team that need to go. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the community as well. Over nearly 80 of you here, over 17 minutes in. Big up to everyone. We need to bring in Tchouaméni and Rice to unite the Chelsea fans. Now, the DM area is so important. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I do feel it's a very important area for Tuchel to get right. Doesn't still solve it for me. It's massively important, but it doesn't still solve the issue we have with the forward line, the problems we have at the back, the wing backs, etc., etc. There's a lot of things that we still need to do. Lukaku could go. Only 2 that should stay are Havertz and Mount, is what Abu's saying. I probably is using midfielders like Havertz and Mount in attack and not having enough pace on the attack is what Bob feels. Pedro Neves, I want to see us do business in January for once. To be honest, I think it should be concentrating, Pedro, more on what we can do now. January will be dependent on how Chelsea do up to that point. We got before the 78 million for Chu before another club does. Well, listen, Liverpool seem quite interested in him. City are also interested in Cucurella as well. And there's a lot of things that that we need to address. There's an understanding around the club that says Division 1. Yeah, and then we look, and this is the other thing as well. We're going to come to Dembélé news and this thing. So there you go. This is news and Jules Koundé. But now I'm going to talk a little bit about this quickly. Let's bring it up. No, not this one. Not this one. Sorry. Where's it gone? This one from Pies. This one from Pies. So he's also said that there's an understanding around the club that Todd Boehly is ambitious and wants to keep competing for titles. Chelsea could sign attackers, but that only depends on the player scale. So I honestly feel, and without knowing what Todd Boehly is going to do, that looking at what he's doing at the Dodgers and how successful they've been, I personally feel that he's going to come in and he's really going to want to make himself heard. Is that the right word? Like want other clubs and other owners to realise how serious he is as an owner. Now, there are some very good key players out there that are looking for moves. Tchouaméni, Declan Rice. Jules Koundé is a big statement for me. Getting that done is a necessary. Real Madrid are interested in him. You've got to look at wing backs. Still got to sort that out. Forwards, do they get Dembélé? Would Lewandowski be a good option for this football club? If he really wanted to set the statement, if he really wanted to just show how serious he is as a Chelsea owner, he would go after these players, providing he, obviously we know that certain players are going to leave. And I do feel that without the sanctionings, even to this point where we stand now, I do feel that they have them answers. They have them answers from players whether they're going to stay or go. They do because they talk to their players, can't they? Talk to their agents. You know, is he looking to leave? Does he want to go? Well, is it worth us offering him a contract? Should we start looking in the transfer window to replace this person, this individual? You know, they will have an idea already of who I think's going and staying. And then upon that, they can work on who they want to bring in. That's true. We need a DM along with improving the creativity. We do. It is waived. It's one of the biggest things we need to sort out, bro. If you do good business, you won't need anyone in January, is what Declared saying. Jem, I don't think Bowley is going to go all out spending. Taking the fact that the Dead would bring in players, I think Bowley will want 2 to 3 key signings. Now, that's cool, Bell. Now, I get you, and that could be the case. I'm not saying it won't. And I said this earlier on. I do feel that he will make at least a minimum of 2-3 signings. Like you said, it's how quick can they get rid of the Deadwood and how serious are they in getting certain key players now? Because certain players that are maybe available in this summer window may not be available next season. So we really have to weigh up what's important and how we were going to go through this summer. If Todd Bowley comes in and goes, look, I'll give you 150 million, but you're going to have to sell some players as well if you want to buy more players, then that's on Marina. This is what I'm saying. Marina, short term, has such a big job on her hands, a job that she's going to have to really be on point for, you know? But you're right. It could be 2-3 key signings. It could be 4 or 5. You know, who knows? Who actually knows? Lee, big up to you. He says, the Jan window is just for emergencies. Always have to pay the bigger tax. Facts. That's good, but we've got to see it practice. I optimize about him, though. I'm optimistic about him, though. Who? Who are you talking about? Well, we're going to get to Dembélé, Bob. Dembélé is the next talk before we get into the match preview as well, guys. Make sure we're smashing them likes. So let's get this to 50 likes as quickly as possible. Only 37 likes. Let's get that 13, if you haven't hit it already, in as quickly as possible. We need at a minimum 2 attackers, 1 wing back, 3 defenders, and 1 midfielder. Lone and youth will fill in some slots. It's going to be a crazy window. I do feel it's going to be a crazy window because I do feel we're going to be forced into having to buy anyway. So I feel in my head, and this is a guess, how many players do I think we're going to bring in that are just new, without loanees, without whatever? I feel we're going to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're going to bring in 4 to maybe between 4 or 5 brand new signings. I'm talking about new players. I'm talking about new players coming into this football club, 4 to 5. And then with regards to loanees, players that will, that will come back, 1, 2, maybe 3. So I would say between 2 and 3 loanees and between 4 and 5 players is what we will get. This is a guess. Could be wrong. That's my guess. My question to you guys, over 120 of you guys here, make sure you're hitting them likes, is how many new players coming to Chelsea do you think we'll get in the summer? And how many loanees do you think will return and get an option, or get a chance to play in the first team? Let me know in the chat. Let's go through it. I've said 4 to 5 brand new players and between 2 and 3 loanees. That's my opinion. Let's see what you guys have got to say in the chat. Yeah, good thing is Marina will be under real scrutiny this summer. She will, Seppers, but she has to get on with it. Whether she wants to be a short-term, long-term, whatever, Bowley's going to be forcing her to get things on the move, mate. Yeah, we've got to be optimistic. Listen, we're going to be optimistic, but at the same time, the proof is in the pudding. And I've said this about any owner that comes into this football club. We need to see their motives, and not only just through the short term, but the long term period. And you won't get that for at least 3 to 5 years. And that's why we've got to wait. That's why we've got to wait. Dembélé isn't exactly cheap business. I think his agent wants 22. We'll go into Dembélé because Dembélé is the next topic before we get into the match preview that we're going to talk about as well. And obviously we've got it here because like LDM Football come out and said, one of Todd Bowley's most pressing targets for the summer transfer window is securing Ousmane Dembélé on a free. Chelsea reopened talks after the takeover is complete. So, whoever's told him that, 90 minutes have said that. So, it seems like Chelsea, Todd Boehly is interested in Dembélé. Now, if you wanted to ask me personally, do I think Dembélé is a great option? Yes, I want Dembélé here. The only thing that worries me with Dembélé, the real worry with Dembélé, is how fit can we keep him throughout a season? And this is why it's still going to be very important to keep some of the forwards, because Pulisic stays, say Mount, Havertz and, I don't know, Lukaku still here. You're still going to need to be able to rotate with this guy. Yes, he will start your bigger games and try and play majority of the games that are available, but it is a completely different ball game playing in the Premier League. 50 plus games a season, 4 competitions. There's a lot of games to be played, and I worry about Dembélé and his fitness. In Barcelona, yes, he plays Champions League and whatever, Europa League, but at England, it's very, very demanding. Rafinha is another great option. Could we get... Look, this is what I would do. All right, I'm going to have a bit of fun with this, yeah? Let's have a bit of fun before we go into the match preview. This is what I would do. If I'm Todd Boehly, yeah? I'll put my Todd Boehly hat on right now. I'll tell you what I would do, how much I would spend, yeah? Forget the contract. How much I'd spend to bring him in and what I'd do and what sort of wage I'd give him, right? But before I do that, let me just quickly, because I was meant to answer your questions, wasn't I? So Steve C said 7, 4 to 5, Broha, Gallagher, Gilmour, Colwill, 3 of them are with us next season minimum, is what Bob's saying. Don't want Maatsen to go Dortmund. They ruin loan players. Gladbach are only other teams' better choice of Bundesliga loans. Damon Duff, I feel like many Chelsea fans are worried about that Bundesliga tax, and I hear you. I do hear you. Dembélé can also shop himself to PSG, so good luck with bargain shopping. He's going to... Look, any of the players that we look to bring in are going to have the big European clubs wanting them. It's just the project and obviously the money, which is what they're going to be looking at. But the project that you can offer, where is it or what is it that they want for themselves? 2 defenders, 2 attackers, 1 wing back, 4 plus 2 loans. So Matthew reckons 4 players plus 2 loanees. I've gone for 4 to 5 players plus 2 to 3 loanees. So that's what I feel is what's going to happen. He's a huge risk. Maybe if we had been better scouts, but he is. But at the same time, he's in very good form. He'll be poor like Ziyech in the Prem. Kevioe, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, I get the Rafinha thing. The Rafinha thing is an option. Why? Because he's Premier League proven, and you want a Premier League proven player to come in and play. Slip into this team pretty quickly. The question with Rafinha for me is he will bring you the creativity. But will he score enough goals? So what is it that we need to kick on and become at that level again? Because I was talking about inside forwards. Maybe having that creative player, keeping Lukaku, will create more for Lukaku and you'll see a better Lukaku. If Lukaku goes, maybe we have a Havertz false 9 or a number 9, and then we have 2 forwards that score goals. If that's what you want from Rafinha, I'm not too sure. I love Rafinha. I would love him at Chelsea. But to get him, we'd have to get Leeds relegated. That Leeds relegated and then purchase him for 30 mil, which is what his price tag will go down to. There'll be too many people in for him as well. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that massively. I agree with Matthew. Dembélé is a completely different player to the one of Hakim Ziyech. Colwill's giving you... Yeah, Colwill was an option. So, look, I'll go back to what I was going to say. I'm just quickly reading. Bowen's a good shout, but I'm not too sure Chelsea would look at him. And I don't think West Ham, again, looking at the way that they deal with Declan Rice, are going to allow someone like Bowen to come to Chelsea. I wouldn't mind it. Don't get me wrong. I'll take Bowen all day. But I just don't see that happening. Dybala is an option. Also, an option is what Zui's saying. Gilmour could be staying if he shows Tuchel what he's learned. Yeah, but this is the thing, Lee. It's either Gilmour or it's Ampadu. Now, Ampadu's doing well where he is. Gilmour, his left is coming back. I personally would take Gilmour, personally. But this falls down to preference. I think Dembélé is a better option than Ziyech, personally, as well. Big up to Clutch in the house as well. Clutch, I hope you're well. We're not talking about Christian Pulisic leaving the football club, don't worry. Talking about players coming to clutch. I basically said this. I said that I feel that Todd Boehly in this summer window will bring between 4 and 5 new signings through the door, and we'll have at least between 2 and 3, maybe 2 or 3 loanees come back and play as well in the first team. That's what I feel we will do in this summer market. Yeah, but it's Norwich. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't learn anything from Norwich. What you can put blimmin', I don't know, whoever you want in that team from Chelsea, and the same shit would happen. It's one player. Big up to VJ and House. Haven't seen you in a while, bro. I hope you're well as well. Said expect around 150 million to be spent. That's not a lot of money, especially for big targets. But let me explain this to you guys. Big up to Coach's Corner as well. This is what I would do. You ready? And I'm going to tell you how much for and what I would do. All right? Jules Koundé through the door. Between 50 and 60 million. If we get that done, perfect. All right? Dembélé on a free. I'd give him a wage between 150 and 170 because I feel that's where he'll want. Yeah, and I'd bring him in. So him at 150, 170 on wage on a free. Jules Koundé for between 50 and 60 million. All right? I would then go and look at someone like Koundé. I would spend around 20 to 30 million bringing him in. Then I would offer him anything between 130 and 150 roughly in wage if he would take that. Obviously, at his age at 31, he might take it. So that's already £80 million spent. And I've got Koundé, I've got Koundé, and I've got Dembélé. All right, they're the 3 players so far. Right. Then I would look into the midfield, and I'd go for Tchouaméni. Now, Tchouaméni is going to cost probably about 70 odd mil. Yeah, so that will bring it up to what? Probably 80, 91, 10, 20, 130 to 140 mil already spent. I've got myself Tchouaméni, I've got myself Koundé, I've got myself Dembélé, and I've got myself Koundé. Now, I said I think we can get 4 to 5 players. So on 4 players, top players, Dembélé, Koundé, Koundé, and Tchouaméni. But if we can do that, that's 4 players straight up there. Bang. Yeah, but he's not going to get that. This is the thing. People need to get this out of his head. He's not getting... Look, if he goes PSG, he's going for the money. Let's be serious. He's going to go for St. Stupid like 250. We're not spending 250 a wage. All right, that's 4. Then, if I could just go over that 150 mark, this is what I would do, right? This is how I would get another 2 players without bringing in loanees. I would go and get Kamara on a free, yeah, as backup for Tchouaméni, yeah. Have Gilmore there. Jorginho's, let's just say Jorginho's gone. Say he went, yeah. That would be my midfielders. That's solid there. And it's just his wage, which I'm sure we can get done cheap anyway for Kamara. That's cool, but that's good backup, good depth. That's my 5th player. And then on top of that, to top up the 150, because at the moment I'm at around 30 to whatever, I'd either go for Cucurella, who apparently Man City are going for 30 mil. That would bring us up to just over just under 160 or around 160. So I would have got 6 players for 160 million, 2 or 3 of them free, and the other 3 on wage. But if you wanted to just put a cap and give me 200 mil, do you know what else I would do? I'll tell you what I would do. I would bring Rafinha. Leagues get relegated and we get Rafinha. Timo Werner leaves. Say Ziyech gave up because he's not getting in this team. And I keep Mount, Havertz. And then if Lukaku probably ends up staying for another season, which could probably happen, I would have... This would be my 5 or 6 players. Koundé, Tchouaméni, Koundé, Cucurella, Dembélé, Rafinha. But you could take Rafinha out of there and go for 5. But in terms of the loanees, Conor Gallagher, probably Colwill as backup in the defence. Yeah, if he's happy to come in on that basis. And then maybe one other. Some people saying Maatsen, some people saying Dujon Sterling, some people, 2 or 3 loanees just to sit within the squad. And automatically we would have so much depth. so much depth across. You know, it'd be for me. You know, we ain't going to get all of them. I'm just giving you guys an idea of what. If I was Todd Boehly and had my Todd Boehly hat on, that is exactly what I would do. Over 230 of you guys here. Smash that like button, guys. Subscribe. We are doing the match preview after this as well. We're just talking about what we've heard today. Koundé, verbal agreement at Chelsea already. Chelsea sorting out with Seville obviously the pricing from that side. 59 million is what they're saying, which is equivalent to roughly around 70 million euros for him. Dembélé is also apparently someone that Todd Boehly wants and will be opening discussions with him as soon as they're announced. Chelsea and PSG are both interested in him. Tchouaméni is another option. I forgot to talk about Joska from RB Leipzig. Don't know how much he is, you know, as backup for the Rudiger place. That's another option. I forgot about that. But if we get Koulibaly, could we get him as well? I mean, we could go mad. We could go for 6-7 players, trust me, and still spend under 200 mil. Think of it. We could get 6-7 players in and still spend under 200 mil, but we'd have to do it clever and we'd have to be aggressive. The only big money players would bring in is Tchouaméni and Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé would be 59 million and Tchouaméni would be 70 to 80 mil. The rest of them would be 30s. Do you know what I mean? Freeze. And that's without bringing Conor Gallagher and everyone else back in the team. Like there is logic to it, guys. Like it can be done. It's just whether or not we are going to do that or they're interested to play for us. They want to be a part of this. It can be done. Can be done. Yeah, I heard this as well. It's not been confirmed though, is it? You know, it's not been confirmed. Over 250 of you guys here. Smash the likes, guys. Let's get this over 100 likes now. I've only got 52 likes. Over 200 people here. Please subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. But let's get this over. Easily we can get this over 100 likes, guys. So please do that. We're going to jump into the match preview next. I know Thomas Tuchel's going live, so he will let us know who's injured, who's not injured. People in the chat can let me know because I can't watch it because I'm streaming at the same time as well. See what people say in the chat. Well, buddy, yeah, I like those names you're saying, bro. Yeah, not bad. Yes, I know. Keep me posted, Jem. You'd have a better summer. City with Haaland, Cucurella, and a backup DM, or Liverpool with Tchouaméni, Ramsey, and Núñez. That's hard. I think you're probably both even, Ram. Is what I'd say on that one because Tchouaméni is so important. Haaland's massive for Man City, but Cucurella, I don't know. Both good. I forgot about Nkunku. Eddie, you're right. Nkunku. I would love Nkunku at Chelsea if we could get him. But he's going to be big bucks money. How much are we looking for Nkunku? 50, 60 plus million? Score 30 plus goals this season? I don't know. You know, this is all talk at the moment. But he would definitely be a good shout. Is this realistic? Like the most football fans I would love to sign those new. Well, no. Big Ron. These are players that we can sign. Once we announce our owners, these are players that are available now. But it's how aggressive are Chelsea going to be in this summer window? Are they going to go and buy? Because I said I think we'll probably get between 4 and 5 new players through the door, with maybe 2 to 3 loanees. With that, we could push 6 and 7, but we would have to see a lot of players, Deadwood players, leave this football club. Rudy Christensen are gone. Azpilicueta may still go. Alonso's going. You know, Barkley, see you later. Does Ruben Loftus-Cheek stay? Yes or no? Jorginho leave Chelsea? Potentially. You know, Lukaku, Werner, are they going to stay or go? One or the other, I feel, will go. Pulisic will stay. Ziyech, will he go? He's not really playing much. Chelsea might not look at him as a part of the plans. Could leave the football club. That's what I'm saying. That there's a lot of things that still need to be sorted out. Go mad. Torres go mad. Can you imagine it? If he'd done all this, bruv, I'd be so happy. What's everyone else saying in the chat? Nkunku is so versatile. I would love Nkunku. There's one guy. Get Koundé, Nkunku. If you got me Koundé, Nkunku, Tchouaméni, and Koulibaly, I'll be done. All right, we wouldn't have wing backs, but I'd just throw Emerson for a stopgap if we had to. And Reece James, I'd bring in Dujon Sterling as backup. That's what I would do if we had to have a limit, a cap. But I just said to you guys, we could get 5 to 6 players easily for under £200 million. without even having to, like, you know, spend the big bucks. Free transfers, just sort the wages out and bring in the big ones like Tchouaméni and Koundé. Who else is going to cost you 50, 60 million plus? None of them. They're all 30s, 30s, 30s. Dembele's free. Koulibaly's free. Rafinha would be 30 million. Guvardal, I think he's 30 million from Leipzig. Like, there's a number of players. Do you know what I mean? Cucurella's 30 million. I don't think Villa will sell Ramsey's. Big up to Deal CFC in the house. Guys, nearly 300 of you guys here. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are going to be doing a match preview next. Make sure you subscribe, though. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe. And please smash that like button. Let's get this over 100 likes. We will be getting into that preview in a second. It's meant to be talking about the preview, and I'm sitting here talking about transfer signings. I cannot wait to start doing the transfer window on GNA TV again. As always, we'll be reporting on every bit of news that comes live here. If it's breaking, if it's non-breaking, or if it's just been broken, we'll be doing live streams on that. I may have to have a little break for like a couple of days because I'm moving house next week. But once I'm back, I should be back before the transfer window opens. We will be delving straight into the transfer window. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. The little bell, hit that. Because that will let you guys know when we go live as well. I want you guys to be available for every stream. We'll also open it up to all of you guys to get involved, have your say, let me know your thoughts and feelings as we go through the transfer window as well. So there's loads of stuff that we've got to do. 66 likes, guys. Come on. Please continue hitting them likes. Get them likes up. Big up to Liam Lane in the house as well. What league does River Plate play in? Yeah, people for Bundesliga's tag. I don't know. Don't know what you guys want. Sosa for Alonso. Sosa is someone that Chelsea have been linked to as well. I don't know whether you guys would be interested or not in someone like him. We'd have to wait and see. But there you go, guys. There's the news in and around the news around sort of transfer targets that have come out today. Dembélé is back in the talks. Koundé has verbally been agreed. And that's without talks of other individuals. Koulibaly is being put forward to many other people as well. I'm probably putting, but I would sell Kane for Tchouaméni. Would you sell Jorginho, Matthew? Because I feel one or two of them will have a... I feel either one or the other will stay. Is Perisic to Chelsea confirmed? He can play both. No, it's not Damien Duff. Apparently, Juventus are interested in the signing of Perisic as well. Something I read on Twitter. How true that is, I don't know. Chelsea could have an agreement with him verbally as well. We'll have to find out. And I think we will by the end of this week. We know that the club is going to announce the Todd Bowley as new owner, which is great for us. So, yeah. David Room from Hoffenheim, valued again. That's what I'm saying. There's so many little gems out there. There's so many me's out there, little diamonds that we don't know about. That, you know, we need our scouting team to fucking do their job. If our scouting team were actually decent, we wouldn't have to be talking about all the big names all the time. Who's this? Well, who is this? Said this. Someone just sent me this as well. Who is said this? Okay, so all right, I have to share it to you guys. As much as I don't want to, I have to show you it. Whether it's true or not, I don't think it is. I do not see this. Apparently, Jules Koundé is Barca's priority for this summer. Sevilla FC would open to a transfer including Clement Lenglet or Serginho Dest. So you telling me because Barcelona have more to offer Seville, it'd be an easier deal for them? I don't think so. Jules Koundé, I am telling you now, Jules Koundé is leaving Spain. There is no way in hell he's going to Barcelona. I would be shocked. If we lost Jules Koundé. But it goes back to why we have to get this done quickly. Because we've already apparently got a verbal agreement with him, which tells me he wants to play for Chelsea. It's just now Seville. And if Seville are walking around to entertaining Barcelona because they've got players that they want, then take the money off us and go and buy him. Don't try and force him to go there if he doesn't want to play for him, which is what I feel is happening right now. So there you go. So many, Princeton. So many. Barcelona, do you know what I mean? Barcelona want Koulibaly. Barcelona have got Christensen. Barcelona have got... Do you know what I mean? You're taking the piss, isn't they? Guys, I know Thomas Tuchel is live at the moment, so let me know the news, the team news in and around that, because I do need to do the squad builder today. We're going to be going through that together. I'm not letting that happen, bro. I think Koundé's already set on moving to. I think as well. That's why I'm not even gonna entertain it. I am not even gonna entertain it, guys. Not even entertain it. Right, we do need to start talking about the game tomorrow. We've not even started doing that. I know it's very easy to talk. Listen, we are going to be doing a lot of transfer talks over the next month or two. We're going to have a lot of transfer shows. Football's finishing at the end of this week, so everything will be built around talking Chelsea and transfers. We will be having a big summer. I'm expecting ins, I'm expecting outs, and we'll be going through everything here as well. So do not worry. We will definitely be coming back to transfers. But we have got a game tomorrow, guys. We have got a game tomorrow. And even though Chelsea have qualified for the Champions League, they're still not solidified third. Tottenham was sitting behind them by 2 points. We still got a game in hand on them. Get the job done today. We solidify third position. It is still a very important job. I like Kostic. I think he's a good player, actually. He's the one that plays for Frankfurt, isn't he? He's got a good left foot. Chilwell won't start till next season. We're going to need to replace them areas. But again, this is all just guesses, guys. We're all talking about guessing right now. Look, we've done a lot of transfer talk, guys. I want to move away from that. We've done 45 minutes of transfer talk. So I'm only meant to do half hour. Blimmin' hell. It's only meant to do half hour. All right, so let's get into the bulletin for the game tomorrow, because we have got a game tomorrow and we have to talk about it. So, Leicester. We entertain Leicester, who are sitting. Let's have a look. I haven't looked at the table, actually. Let's have a look at the table. Prem table. Let's have a look. Right, in terms of the Prem table, Chelsea are in third on 70 points. Tottenham are behind on 2, but Chelsea have that game in hand. Better goal difference overall. We're playing against the Leicester team, who are sitting currently in 9th. 48 points. 3 points behind. Wolves could take 8th from them. They've drawn their last 2 games. Lost their last 2 games. Out of 6 games, 2, 4, 6, they've lost 2, 1, 2, drawn 2. Chelsea have won only 2 out of their last 6 games. Lost 2 and drawn 2 as well. So there's a lot going on there. But we're going to go through some of the heads-to-heads. We have history, 3-0. The Blues won the reverse fixture 3-0 at the King Power Stadium in November, with our goals coming from Antonio Rudiger. That's what we're being told here. Let's put in who will be giving me updates. Okay, we're going to get to some news in and around Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel's press conference straight after this as well. So stay with us. We'll be getting into that next after we've gone through this. The Blues have yeah, we know that Chelsea are seeking a league double against the Foxes for the first time since 16-17. So that's the last time we've got a league double against Leicester. Brendan Rodgers' side have won 1 of their last 9 games at the Bridge. It's not a great record for Mr. Rodgers himself. The biggest league wins for each team was 4-0 away when we beat them at their ground. At home, we beat them again 4-0. So we've always beaten them. Our highest winning is 4-0. Leicester are beating Chelsea away back in 1924, 4-0 as well. Last season's game saw Chelsea win 2-1 at home. The goal scorers in that game were Rudiger and a Jorginho penalty with a Iheanacho goal. I remember that game as well, actually. It was a shit game. With the Arsenal defeat against Newcastle, Chelsea have qualified for the Champions League. Chelsea have won 1 of their last 4 Premier League games at the Bridge. Not a good record. Not a good record. Conceding 10 goals across those 4 matches. 10 goals conceded in 4 games at the Bridge. Not good, guys. No English player has been involved in more Premier League goals than this season than Mason Mount. He's got 11 goals and 10 assists. He's the first Chelsea player to be directly involved in 20 or more goals in the competition since Eden Hazard. There you go, guys. Outputs are there from Manny Mace at the moment. 4 of Antonio Rudiger's 9 Premier League goals have come against Leicester. So Rudiger loves a bit of Leicester. There's only one other player that's done that, which is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Jorginho has attempted the most tackles in the league for the Blues this term, 61. So he's attempted the most. I don't know how many he's won. Christian Pulisic and Thiago Silva, next start will be their 50th Premier League game, if they are to start in this one as well. If selected, Ross Barkley will make his 100th appearance. Well, we're going to get into that. Ever present, Edouard Mendy will make his 60th appearance for club and country this season. 60 games played from Edouard Mendy all season. Big hats off to him, man. That must be hard. That definitely must be hard. So there we go, guys. I'm not going to get into Leicester stats, but I will tell you who the referee is. Stuart Atwell is the referee tomorrow evening. Lee Mason is the VAR as well. Atwell's last game was the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. His only other Chelsea match this season was a 3-0 victory at the Bridge against Villa in September. So not that bad in terms of Chelsea and what they do. So we are going to do that preferred lineup. But before we do that, we're going to go through the breakdown of Tuchel's press conference. Let me just refresh this as well so that I'm getting all of the fresh questions in. So, Thomas Tuchel has said on Andreas Christensen, here we go. Not sure if he will be involved tomorrow or the weekend. Andreas came to me to tell me he's not ready to play. Start or be on the bench. He's had his reasons. They stay private and confidential. It was not the first time. So Thomas Tuchel was saying this has happened before, where he's had to stay at home. We thought we are in good progression development because he played very strong versus Leeds. We had to, and of course we respect it. He has our support. Maybe it's more of a private matter for Andreas Christensen that he hasn't played. I don't know. But that's Thomas Tuchel coming out with his comments on that. So we move on from that. Thomas Tuchel talks about Kai Havertz. Kai tries today. He did individual training yesterday. Big question mark. So he's in training. Whether or not he'll be fit, probably have to take a medical. We'll find out. So Kai is not a certainty. Andreas Christensen's not playing. Timo Werner is unavailable to face Leicester due to a hamstring problem. Great. So no Timo Werner, no Kai, potentially, no Christensen. Mateo Kovacic did not train yesterday, so not sure if he's going to be available. No Mateo Kovacic as well. Let's add to that as well. No Mateo Kovacic. Who else? Tuchel. It's not that he doesn't want to play. He's not able to. Big difference is what he's saying there on Andreas Christensen. It's not he doesn't. He's able to. He's not able to. Don't know what that is. That's a very weird one. We still have to play for us, our fans, our demands and expectations. We are very happy that we secure our top 4 place. That was first target 2 home games. We will do everything to win for a positive end of the season, is what he's saying there. Tuchel's on conversation with Ruben Loftus-Cheek after taking him off. No, why? This was a 10-second conversation on the pitch and half a minute of the match. It was a penalty decision. Told you that, guys. Told you that decision he made was a penalty decision. I knew it. Let's see how everybody feels and who is hungry to perform. This will be the most decisive factor in the lineup, is what he's got here. He's also said that I'm normally used to do what's best for the next game. We have one more training to go. Situation changes for us. We are safe in the top 4, coming from a big final. Everybody deserves to play like Tony, is what Thomas Tuchel's saying. So that's it, really. So from what we understand, guys, is there anything else? Let's have a quick look. He's talking about the defeat. I feel different levels of disappointment after finals. Everybody was sad. We left everything out there. We were so close. Arguably, we deserved more in the 2 finals, but Liverpool deserved it as well. No regrets. Yeah. Ultimately, when it gets to penalties, what can you do? What can you do? But in terms of team news, guys, and this is where we're going to go into. Obviously, no Timo Werner. No, Kai Havertz is a big question mark. Andreas Christensen is not available. And Mateo Kovacic is out, as he's not been training. So Gary's letting me know in the chat as well. Thomas Tuchel, let's see how everybody feels. Doesn't want to risk getting injured. Maybe. I don't know. Is it more than that? Is it a private issue? Something happened in the family for him? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't think so. Why would it be Barkley time? Nah, we got more players. We've got enough players not to play Bartley. Kante's available. Chelsea are looking to sign Frankfurt. Luca. Don't even know who that is. I wouldn't even be able to answer that. I wouldn't be able to answer that. So, guys, now we already know who's kind of in and out. Obviously, things can change tomorrow. How do Chelsea line up tomorrow? What are we expecting to see in terms of setup? Because that's the real big question mark next, isn't it? Will Thomas Tuchel go for a 3 at the back? Will he go for the 4 at the back? I think we'll stick to the 3. I think we have the players for the 3 system. I think in goal, I think Mendy will play again. I don't see why he shouldn't play in this game. In terms of the back 3, I think Rudiger will play, even though they only played the other day. I think Silva fit. Is Silva fit? Did he say anything on Silva? Anyone in the chat? Anyone that's in the chat, did he say anything on Thiago Silva? Do we know? All right, Thomas Tuchel's confirmed that Broha and Gallagher will come back for sure. I want to have them in pre-season, and we will decide in pre-season what goes on. It is heavily up to them and how they do, is what Gary's saying as well. Is he out, Silva? Is that a no? Can someone is Thiago Silva in or out? Yes or no? Does anyone know? Let me know. Is he still live as well? He's got to be still live, isn't he? Yeah. He is still live. He's had a bit of an up and down season. I think he started off very shaky, and I think recently he's grown into the game, and he's been better. So yeah, he's having a better end of the season than I feel that he did at the beginning of the season. There you go. He might not be available. He hasn't got to the game yet, Jim. But he has, because he said Kovacic, Werner, Kaiser, Big If, and Christensen ain't in. CFC Stevens saying he's in. Okay, so I'm going to assume Silva's knee's okay at this rate. If he ain't, then I've got to change my system completely. What I would do as a back 3. Big up to Chelsea fan in the house as well. Yes, he is fine to play. Okay, cool. Okay. So I would go with the same back 3. People might say they're going to be tired. All right, fine. Chalobah play? I just don't know. I don't think he'll go to a back 4. I'm thinking about this. I don't think he'll go for a back 4 unless Silva's injured. Because we'd have lost Christensen. If Silva's injured, then he's going to be forced into going to a back 4. Then you would have seen Malang Sarr come in, Chalobah, Rudiger, probably Aspilicueta. I think he'll go for a back 3, and I think Silva and Rudiger will probably play. If he don't, anyway, that's what I think. Anyway, in terms of this position, I think Alonso will play again. Last couple of games, I think Reece James, if he's fit, is going to play. I think he is anyway. I think Jorginho will play. I think Jorginho will play, and I think Kanté will play. I think Jorginho and Kanté will play. Maybe that could happen. That could happen. You could see that, but I don't really want to see. I don't really want to see Aspilicueta in the team. I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think Chalobah should play personally. Silva's out. Rudiger in the middle. Did you watch the press conference? He didn't say he was out. Kennedy, yeah, I forgot about Kennedy as well. Actually, yeah, Kennedy. He don't come up on here. Can we do that? What? And then play Sarr? My gosh, that makes me feel sick. That makes me feel sick. Well, the front three, it's easy, isn't it? Lukaku has to play again. Ziyech will play. Will Mount play? He's probably going to play, isn't he? Do you think something like that? I thought Silva might play. I thought Silva might play, but I'm waiting for people to come back so they can tell me. Kenny moves likely to start. Yeah. Well, it is, but we haven't got third. We could potentially only get fourth. You know, I think Silva plays this game. I've just got this feeling. If he's fit and his knee's fine and he feels comfortable, then I feel Thiago Silva. I feel Thiago Silva play. I think Kennedy could be an option. I could see Kennedy playing this game, but I still think it'll be a strong team. I don't think we'll go. Actually, start Pulisic only shines when the pressure is off. Play Silva. Yeah, I agree. I think if Silva's fit, he plays. Silva, Rudiger, Azpilicueta. They're all players that will play 100%. 1,000,001% for me. Malang Sarr and Kennedy could come in late. Alonso could play this game. You know, you could see Kennedy come out against Watford and him go for a strong team. But then, how many of these players played in that game? Because Lukaku played, came off. Ziyech will play. Mount played full. James played full. Kante will play. Jorginho played full. Rudiger played. Silva played. Aspie didn't. Unless you played Chalobah in the middle. You play back three and play Chalobah there, or you play You could do that if need be. You know, if worst case scenario come. Tuchel says on transfers, we will not be improving the squad, but rebuilding it because we will be losing players. I can promise if I can that I will be here and working for Chelsea. Fair enough. Afternoon TT presses Timo Kai unfit, but Kai's individual training. Not sure Cover will be available. He's not. Won't exclude players like Rudy. AC unlikely for last two matches. TT will be here next season. Yeah, he will. He will. It's bragging rights, bro. That's what it is. We only need 1 point. We need 1 point. I don't want to lose 2 games. What, you think Mount will... All right, fine. We'll put Pulisic in then. You want Pulisic? I'll put Pulisic in. There you go. There you go, guys. There you go. There you go. Well, I don't know where I'll be from one day. I can promise I will be here. If I can promise that, last with full positive energy. Yeah, easy. Todd Bowley's not letting go anywhere. I refuse to be negative. We will see how the sanctions and delays affects us. This is a risk. It is, but I think we'll be all right. Cho dropped out of the squad from one day to other, back in individual training, be back in team training pre-season, so he's not available till next season. It will be, but then it'll be down to our scouting team to find players to bring in, right? That's the next thing. That's the next big thing that will be required from us. Right, I am going to open up the lines because I want to talk to you guys as well. I want to hear what people have got to say. The lines are open. Links in the chat. It's very hard because obviously Thomas Tuchel is... Nah, man. No, I don't know what's going on there. People are arguing in the chat. Links in the chat, guys. Make sure we smash the likes, though. We've only got 80 likes. We're not nowhere near 100 yet. We're nowhere near 100. Come on, man. We should be on 100. I've even put the link in the chat for you guys. And Declared is in the house. What are you saying, Declared?
Whoops, talking muted. Big up, Jeff. What's going on?
I'm alright, mate. How you doing?
Yeah. Can be better. It's getting really cold where I am, so
Where are you?
it's good. That's it. In my room, in front of a
Sound like
campfire.
you're underwater.
Am I underwater?
That's the other one.
it's
Yeah.
just-
So what are you saying, mate? What are you saying? Big game over the tomorrow against Leicester. Do you think people like Silva will be dropped? Do you think he'll be fit? Do you think Tuchel will risk him? How strong do you go with this team? Because we only need 1 point to get third.
Well, I was listening to the interview, to the press conference, sorry, and he also mentioned that we have injuries and a lot of players played a lot as well in the cup finals. So I do get a feeling there is going to be quite a few rested players, and Arsenal did us a big favour, so we don't have to really put out a strong squad.
So you tell me, what would you do with this lineup then? How do you think he's going to do it? Like, if he's saying this, what's your feeling?
I don't know, maybe Saul gets a run.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
Loftus Cheek.
Where? Tell me. Where?
Could be in the middle of the park.
Alonso.
You think Sal can play on the left?
120 yeah, because Alonso play 120 minutes.
And then what in the middle? Jorginho, Kante? Jorginho rested? Kante and Ruben? What you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Rest cover.
What about the back? Do you think Thiago Silva will play or will he not risk him?
I think.
Yeah, I think he has to rest. I heard that he wasn't meant to play in the FA Cup. He wasn't meant to start, sorry.
Yeah.
And Christensen was meant to start because he was carrying a bit of an injury, and he played through pain for that one. So I think we've pushed him too far.
I've injured him. All right. So is Rudiger playing that middle, or do you feel and Sarr on the left, or do you think Chalobah will just come in and something like
Chalobah
this?
in the middle. He played there in the pre-seasons as well. So yeah, I think it'll be Chalobah in the middle. I think, and he alluded to Rudiger playing the last 2 games because he deserved it. So I think, Rudiger will play.
Okay.
I don't remember. Is this a home game?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
Yeah.
So probably this
3-0.
is like a little sending off to some of the players that might be leaving. I think we'll get around.
Well, they've got 1 more game. Yeah.
Are they both home games or
both home games.
Both home games.
Oh, sorry, I
yeah.
didn't know. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I think when we played Leicester back in October, I think it was one of our best games this season, actually. I think it was at the back of the Juve game when we beat Juve 4-0. One of the best games we played this year, but it's long distant memory.
Well, Hudson-Odoi is ruled out till next season as well, so he won't be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Matt's gonna have. What are you saying, mate?
Big up, Jim. What's this? Is this a Leicester lineup?
So basically, Kovacic's out, Christensen's out, Havertz is a big question mark.
The press conference was on. Yeah. Shit, I missed that.
Werner's out. Obviously a lot of players like Alonso played a lot of minutes. Silva probably won't play by the looks of it. So there's a lot of changes. We only need 1 point to get third as well. So what do you think?
Jorginho out? Is he out?
He's not, but again, played a lot of minutes, didn't he?
I would put him in for Leicester and then maybe rest him there. I mean, I'm confident having Loftus there with Jorginho, but I just can't, and especially with Kante, I can't have Kante and Loftus. Like it's never gonna work, and especially if he's next to Saul as well, that's not gonna work. I would force Jorginho for this one, maybe take him off if we are, but I said this Jim as well. Like I don't want 7-6 of our players from what's the game we just played? The Liverpool game today, because again, we gotta rest them. Some don't want to play, half of them don't want to play. But I think the back line's kind of simple as well. Rest Thiago Silva, Aspie start. For me, this is just personal preference in goals. I'll put Kefir in there. Last 2 games.
We were just arguing that, Matt. If you didn't know before you came.
Oh no, I just jumped on.
Yeah, we were arguing whether Kepa should start or not.
I would start him. I think for me, it's like Mendy's had so much to play. Let's just give Kepa a go. Maybe he can increase his price more. and we can see how he goes. Because stuff it.
Yeah.
Mendy. I'm not. Mendy wasn't at fault last game. There's nothing he did wrong. Just that. Let's start careful for this one.
Thomas Tuchel's comment about Chelsea over the transfer window was, "We're not improving the squad. We are rebuilding it."
Exactly. That was the key word. That's the key word.
What are your thoughts on that comment from himself?
From the first, just getting from the first reaction, I think he means that he doesn't want to kind of make fun of the players for calling them like bad or anything.
Yeah.
Like I get that's probably a factor, but however, he's kind of confirming that we're rebuilding is the word that rebuilding, removing, replacing. So he's gonna get meaning he's gonna get rid of a lot of people as well and bring in a lot of people, which is good.
And
rebuilding does also mean like players leaving, like
it's like remove and rebuild, So
it's a nicer way of saying like we need to change things. Basically, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Rather than going, no, we need to get rid of players; they're not good enough. It's rebuilding, isn't it? It's the same for room. It's not improving; it's rebuilding. So you still get rid of players that probably don't want to be here and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's good to see his confirmation from him as well. And coming from him saying that, look at it. We're going to go get players. We're going to get rid of players. And we're going to be a new team next season. Not a fully new team, but we're going to have a new fresh start with a lot of players.
I think it is even when they asked him about the takeover or the rumors that we're hearing about, I think inside probably have more information than people outside. He seems very confident, relaxed. So I think all the noise we're hearing from outside, I think they're all just that noise.
I mean, there was just that news that Tchouaméni, was going to Liverpool, and I was like, what? Like really?
Nah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen. Fucking, I don't want Liverpool to happen.
Nah. Liverpool are now gonna pay 670 million.
80, I think.
I think we're gonna have a massive summer. I think this is gonna be one of the biggest summer since maybe 2005. I have a feeling.
Do you remember when I said to you earlier that I feel that we're going to do... I said that I feel that we're going to sign between 4 and 5 new players, and I feel that we're going to get between 2 to 3 loaney players back as well. That's where I feel. But he could do more, and I've already explained to you guys with 200 mil, even 150 mil, you could get about 6 players if you're clever enough, decent players. So it can be done. It's just how aggressive and what is our strategy in and around it? How are we gonna, you know what I mean? Because we could be very clever and get some very good players on a free for the right wage, and it's automatic.
Look at Barcelona. Look how many frees they got in January. Some of them dead wood, whatever. But exactly.
Barcelona is not a good example.
I mean, I'm not saying example. I'm saying that they have the drive to get a lot of free people. For me, there's look at
they're kind of forced into
the
that.
Ibala's on a free. Yeah, they were forced, but it was good for them. They got Aubameyang, and that worked out for them.
Yeah, but reality of the matter is that we're gonna do some big money signings. We're probably gonna have to rely on some of the youth and loan players to fill some of the gaps, some of the positions, and there's gonna be a few maybe free players as well. I mean, look at some of the names. We could spend. Jen, what'd you say? We get 6 players at 150, but we could also get 3 players for that, bro.
I worked it out that if you look at the big name signings, so say we got Tchouaméni, right? He's going to cost us anything around 70 mil, maybe a little bit more. Who knows, right? It could be around that figure. Jules Koundé apparently is around 59 million sterling. That's what we're looking to agree on. So just around 60. Yeah. Without them 2 players, and you look at Dembélé, who's a free, you look at Koulibaly, who's 30 mil, you look at Cucurella, who's 30 mil, you look at, who else was I talking about? I even said Rafinha, if they get relegated, it's 30 mil. There's a lot of, players that are either on frees or just at a really good, a really good wage that you can just go and pick up a fee that you can go and pick them up on. You could really build a team in and around them players, So
and he just said as well, he's bringing back Broja and Gallagher. I don't know if you guys discussed on that as well. So that's confirmation. We've just got 2 signings.
But that's for the preseason, Matt.
I've got that here. Because
this is for pre-season. Oh, so this guy's clear.
That's what he said, mate. Broja and Gallagher, they will come back for sure. I want to have them in pre-season. We'll decide in pre-season what goes on. It's heavily up to Broja. And when he says that, I'll tell you what that means. We'll decide in pre-season what goes on. Not only is he going to be watching how good they do, but he's also going to assess the number of players they've probably bought in as well. And in what positions. And who stays and who goes.
Yeah, because there's no point having these 2 guys and they just around doing nothing. When
That's what he's scared of as well.
Out of the two, I think I'll keep Broja and sell Gallagher.
Not sell him, like loan him back. You mean?
I mean, yeah. If we were to keep, if we have to keep between the two, yeah.
I think there's a lot of other players to sell.
Like between them two, like I'm saying, if you have a choice, like we fill up the squad, then we only have one place left. Is either Broja or Gallagher. I think with Gallagher, I think Broja probably, and I think he will be probably happy to just be a bit part player. I think Gallagher, with the success he's had at Crystal Palace, it probably went to his head. I don't think he'll just be happy to sit around when he knows he can go back to Palace and for another season and play.
And I wouldn't mind that. Like, I wouldn't bring him here to sit on the bench, you know. And again, that's
exactly.
The decide. And it shows how he played in the football in the preseason. Because obviously, some say he can't pass, some this, that.
No,
but if he shows in the preseason, then by all means, say. But if he doesn't, then I would still loan him. I think preseason dictates it. If they don't perform, I would send them back to their clubs, you know, Southampton, Palace, whatever. But if they perform, we'll keep them.
I think Gallagher's a good one to stay. If you get rid of Barkley and say Ruben goes, like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
To keep him on, you know. So. Rodrigo, you was talking, mate. What happened? You cut off.
I said Barkley's also a squad number.
Oh right, okay.
It is, and everyone else, even Loftus-Cheek as well. Like, these guys aren't squad depth players.
He's to go.
I think Ruben, you can have a squad depth personally, but again, you could.
Can he play in double pivot?
Depends who you bring in, though, doesn't it?
Those minutes.
I mean, yeah. If you bring in Tchouaméni, I think that's not Tchouaméni can't take Jorginho next season. I think that'll be.
No, but you should be looking at Ruben at an 8 anyway. He should never be looked as a 6 or a wing back.
Yeah, I don't think he can ever get in an 8 in this.
You know the minute that we gave Ruben this season. Yeah, if we gave him to what's the kid that went to Norwich? What's his name?
Billy
Gilmore.
Yeah, those minutes could have gone to Billy, and it would have been more beneficial to him and to us. Yeah, we wasted. Ruben is just. I think it's mental with him. He just doesn't.
I don't know. Something. It's a bit different.
He is alive, man. He is back. I haven't seen VJ in ages. VJ, what's happening?
The financial.
I was not feeling well. I'm getting better now. So
good to hear, mate. Good to see that you're better as well, mate. How are things anyway?
Yeah, it's all going good. With Chelsea, some of them good, but they're not all of them. We've lost a couple of cup finals while I was away, so
yeah,
not good on that side. But yeah, I did want to ask one question with respect to Ruben. Isn't it more to do with the ambition of the player? Let's say if Ruben wants to stay at Chelsea and he's fine with being a squad rotation player, wouldn't it be a good option to have him rather than to get some squad rotation player in and then
But who would you get rid of, BJ? Like, who would you? Because we need to get rid of that one midfielder. So who would you be willing to get out instead of him?
Barkley.
Barkley, and then Barkley and someone else. There's someone else as well.
Saul obviously is going back.
Yeah, Saul is going back as well, right? So who are we talking about here? Saul is out. Wait, Saul is out.
I don't know why Max said it has to be someone else.
We were
lacking midfielders.
Anyway.
We were lacking midfielders.
We actually need to get rid of
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kepa. So not midfielder, but still to make Matt a bit frustrated.
Well, no, look. I think Jorginho or Kante go. One of the two. I've just got.
I don't think they've got this.
Yeah, I was thinking Jorginho. Why not?
I don't think they've
Listen,
got.
Well, I think we should just get rid of
Jem's
Jorginho.
right. It's either they sign a new contract or they leave. Really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but they're not gonna go.
Can they run out their contract? I wouldn't mind
They
J5
can.
to run out his contract.
But the only reason we run out of contract if we're desperate, if they don't want to sign him, we can't replace him.
No offers come in, yeah.
But Tuchel trusts them three. Kovacic, Jorginho.
Of course, but it's outside Tuchel's hands because it's a contractual matter. Because Kante's on so much money, so there's probably a very good chance that the club offered him a longer contract, but on lower wages. But someone else might want him, like someone like PSG. You know, he's French, he's a big icon there. They might offer him a lot more, right? And this is going to be his last contract, maybe. You know, and the amount of injuries he's got. Jorginho, on the other hand, big in Serie A too. Yeah. So there's money there too. And Jorginho is not on a big wage at Chelsea.
But
so
you know
he's
what?
looking for a bump deal.
Declared. The only thing I would say is with Jorginho is if we got a Tchouaméni, let's just say, for example, we find a DM that we wanted. We're still going to need backup in that position anyway. And having Jorginho as like that backup's not a bad thing. I don't think.
Tchouaméni, that's the thing, bro. Tchouaméni is not. I've seen few games. I don't think he's not a DM like.
I think the DM's been modeled.
That's what we need, Rodrigo.
I don't know. I feel like he's a DM. He is. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's very versatile. We need a very versatile DM or midfielder, whatever you want to call it.
He's not a Jorginho. If Jorginho has a bit more physicality and more, he's not like a Fabregas, Tchouaméni.
No, but Rodrigo, we need a very versatile
quite tall.
player. So you don't need a Jorginho. What you need is a person that can pass like Jorginho, can defend as well, and that can also attack. It's hard to find a person that can have the best of all. You need a jack of all trades, and at a decent level, because you want that person to defend. And sometime even though we got 5 people that attack, they're both wing backs. Sometime if teams are sitting back, you need one more person. That's why I don't know if you guys saw, Koundé was up in the attack a lot. Not really the best player to be in those positions. And we were desperate. We were desperate for cover to do something. Maybe he was cover, could dribble, a little bit creativity, but none of them were going to take any shots. None of them were going to make a lot happen. So if you get a very versatile player, if you get a very versatile midfielder that can defend and that can contribute to the attack, that's what we really want. And that can also distribute the ball as well.
But Declan,
so we need at least one of those two midfielders, a really good jack of all trades.
Yeah. Tchouaméni is definitely not a sitting DM. That is a myth. I've seen him play. It's not.
We don't really need a sitting DM in such. We just need a DM who can move as well. We don't play
we need a DM that can break up play. That's what we need.
And also, when you play a lone DM, can you expect him to be that versatile? Because you're just leaving that space that he's supposed to be covering. If it's two midfield, like how West Ham, play, right? That's different. You could have one person moving up and then the other person covering, but then we don't actually play that way. So if it's going to be one DM, would you really want a versatile DM? I know it's good to have that option, but isn't versatile a bit overspoken when it comes to a DM profile? Should we really require that?
Do you know what? The closest thing to an actual normal DM, which is what Rodrigo's talking about, a sitter, is Kamara. That is what you someone at DM. He will sit in front of the defence and he will break play and he'll do everything that is required to a normal DM. What Tchouaméni and Declan Rice do is more of a versatile progressive DM. Whereas when they get the ball, they drive forward with the ball and they move the balls forwards quickly. They're very always thinking forward. They're not someone that just breaks the play and just plays it sideways like Jorginho.
If you want to play a 4-3-3, for example, with one person become that disciplined guy to sit and hold, then I don't think Tchouaméni is the guy.
But we're not. I don't think we're playing a 4-3-3.
I know.
That's when Jorginho will be the guy, and Tchouaméni probably.
And Tchouaméni,
that's the thing.
But that's changing the whole thing. We wouldn't even need Tchouaméni, because then you can have Conor Gallagher, Mount back there. You can even have Havertz back there. If you're going to have a free in the midfield sitting DM, and you got cover as well.
Tchouaméni can fit in any of our midfields, and that's what I'm saying. I would rather Jorginho stay. So, example, if say Tchouaméni's injured or he can't play, whatever, we can slot in a player who is a first-time player. I don't want Loftus-Cheek coming in who can't play in double pivot, who can't play here, can't play there. I want someone who can casually come in and confidently play in a position that they're meant to. And that's why, for me, I would rather Jorginho and Kante both there.
I agree. I wouldn't sell either one.
Yeah, but Jorginho and Kante isn't the best combo that we've had. That can be very improved with different characteristics. That's why I didn't even call it a DM. I called it any whatever midfield you wanted to put in there.
Well, just how the system plays out. DM. It's 2 center mids, but one sits back, one kind of goes up.
I know, but the problem is when Jorginho plays as that holding, as soon as you break past him, he's not good enough to recover.
He's not quick enough. He's not quick.
You need someone that has the ability to be able to have the pace, be able to break up play, and be not only strong with the ball but strong in the air. And and Tchouaméni is a big figure. I'm saying he's competitive. Declan Rice is another one. As much as you talk about him, he's another one that's quite built and big. Do you know what I mean? And gets stuck in and stuff. So that's the type of model that I think Tuchel probably wants in his team.
Did you watch Camavinga?
Well,
did you watch Camavinga before? Obviously.
Did you watch him against us?
Yeah. him and Tchouaméni. What's your opinion on them two? Do you think they are so similar kind of players, or Tchouaméni is is better attacking?
Well, I actually
feel
think
similar.
Tchouaméni is a very good 8 as well. Like,
Yaya Toure.
I think you could give him. What I'm saying is, he's very box to box. He'll be able to cover the cover. He would, if you asked him to sit, he would. But if you wanted to use his energy and getting around the pitch and breaking things down, you could use him as like a box to box as well. Like, you have options with Tchouaméni. But another good example would be a Fabinho at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at Ramsey or anyway. Like, Fabinho, what would you deem Fabinho as a DM? Like, is he your typical DM or is he a versatile DM? You look at him.
Nah, he's a contemporary DM. He's one of those guys. He's the anchor of the midfield. So the DM that I think of is the guy that's just in front of the centre back, sweeping up, and also being able to dictate play.
Yeah.
Casemiro's that. Fabinho's that. If you want to go back. Kamara's that. If you want to go back to like 2000s, Xabi Alonso, Khedira, those kind of players. But I don't know what you guys need. You said you prefer you don't want Jorginho as that holding because he's not pacey enough,
Not strong enough.
or strong enough. But surely you don't really need the pace or strength. You just need the intelligence just to get the ball back and then switch it up again.
Be progressive, bro. That's the word I keep using all the time. Someone that gets the ball and looks forward. That is what we need. Someone that's not always going to slow the play down. It's going to keep the ball moving quickly from the back. That's what, again, someone that's got the intelligence to make that pass but actually find it. Do you know what I mean?
Does that, but he doesn't do it all. I get it. He doesn't do it all.
I think the main thing with Jorginho is that he don't have the intelligence defensively as a Fabinho or Casemiro. He's not very good at intercepting or reading the play when we're going.
Yeah, I agree.
In defensive transitions.
I think that also stems to the fact that the person he plays next to doesn't also read the defensive, unless obviously Kante when he's fully fit. Yeah, Kante does the job of two people, but when you're playing Jorginho or someone else, the other person also doesn't help, because them two, it's not written somewhere that Jorginho is the one that has to sit back and let the other person go forward. They can always interchange, but Jorginho is not as good as.
Wouldn't you rather have that structure? Like, for me, that's you're explaining Kovacic and Loftus-Cheek. That for me is way too unstructural. You have Kovacic up, Loftus back, and they kind of go headless because they don't know where they are. And Loftus and Kova, they're both attacking players. Yes, Mom might sit back, but for me, they're not sitting back players, and that's why I go with Jim. Like, yes, Jorginho's a bit slow. Having someone like Tchouaméni who can maybe swap with a Kante, Tchouaméni pops up, Kante drops, and then you can have a structural switch. But for us, we don't have a structural switch where you can keep switching. That's why Jorginho's a structural.
Ideally, Matt, you want both on both sides.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, everyone's got to take into account. I know it's a bit hard to see sometimes, but if you change all these players as little dots and watch how we play, there's a very That's why I'm saying versatile, whatever you want to call it. That's what the strength of this system is. So usually, our wing backs would attack and defend. Right, our midfielders will cover for different areas, right, and our attacks up front are very interchangeable, right, and we need them to score as well, all three of them, and our wingbacks under control, and that's what's, and also with the same explanation, we need one of these defenders, right, to be, and this is why I think Koundé is going to be a great signing, to be versatile into the midfield as well.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
You see how Rudiger actually went up all the time.
Yeah,
because Jorginho couldn't do it, right? And someone else couldn't do it. So the thing about the strength of the whole system is that it's not just one way. Like, this character is always going to come from this. This player is going to come from this side all the time, and then that player is going to go from here. And if you're very predictable, it's very easy to counter you and defensively. So now this whole system has been very versatile, and that's why teams have struggled, right, to beat us and control the game against some of us, but we've been make do with a lot of players. And if all of a sudden we get all these versatile players, it's going to open up the system more. So
I agree.
That's
and that's what he needs. He needs them, and I agree with you, Declared. We need, and I've said this so many times on here, We need to find the right profile player that are versatile enough to adapt to different systems if he wants to switch. And when you bring Jules Koundé in, he gives you that. Like he's one player that will do that. You know, you could bring Koulibaly in. Yeah, people don't realize Koulibaly could play in a back three and a back four. Like he's good to do both. Like, do you know what I mean? No problems. Yeah. You look at the midfield. Tchouaméni comes in. I think he's good enough to play a bit further up. I think if you ask him to sit as a DM, he could do that job as well. Yeah. Like there's a number, and then you look at the forward line. You know, and that's something we need to sort out as well. It's a big thing for me. Like that forward line's just not good enough. Like. You know, if Werner goes, cool, Ziyech, whatever. But Dembélé on a free, I think is a good shout. It's just whether or not when you get a Dembélé, you've got to bring players in and around to switch with him because you can't have him play in every single game. We just can't risk that injury proneness in him. Do you know what I mean? So you'll play him in the bigger games, but you need to make sure you have.
What about Dybala?
No,
you know, I wouldn't prefer want the but I would prefer Rafinha personally. Yeah,
Dybala's too injury prone, and he's getting too many injuries.
He will struggle in the Premier League, I think, with the physicality in that.
Well. I think Rafinha and Dembélé is the perfect match. Perfect.
By the way, I just want to point out a guy that's in the comments. I can't remember his name. Mo, I think it's Mo. There are a lot of DMs that are classified as versatile. There's so many sixes that can play as an 8. I mean, Conrad Lima's one, Tchouaméni's one, Frankie's one. Okay. I mean, Thiago. I mean, Thiago sometimes plays in the 8 for us, so there's that. Yeah. So there are ones available. You could even put Tonali in there. Tonali used to play as a 6 at Brescia. now he's an 8, a marauding 8. So there are players out there.
It's going to be interesting to see what Todd Bowley's plans. Like we don't know what we're going to do or who he's going to go for or how he's going to be aggressive
as well.
You know, it's going to be interesting. Quickly,
Showtime. Throw money at it, Jim. Yeah.
Huh?
Sorry, I was going to say. I think Todd Bowley's just going to throw money at it, and we go. I think we're going to get a lot of targets we're already linked with. I think there's no time for him to come in and change, you know, the status quo and find it's different scouts, different board, different targets. I think he's just going to go with what was already been in the works. If he did that, I think we'll miss out on a lot of targets.
That's dangerous.
I mean. Dangerous in which way?
Because I hear a lot from your fan base that your scouts aren't really that good, and a lot of the stuff that we say.
So you believe our fan base, Rams?
I mean, your fan base is well acknowledged with the board and the inside works of the football club rather than myself. But if there's evidence to prove that.
What do you think, Rams? Though.
Well,
what do you think of our scouts?
I don't think they're good. The evidence is proven there because you.
What about all the young players they got?
No.
They're not.
Hey, look. Let me explain where I was getting at. Right? Everyone says that the main, like, how you should judge the scout is the players you never heard of, right? So young players, the player you never heard of. When you talk about Lukaku and Werner mainly, right? And they got to fall on someone. You don't need scouts for those players. Those players, even we saw, even everyone's had arguments about the numbers, the stats, the everything, right? They're big name players. You don't need scouts for that. You need someone to have a decision. You need someone to say, yeah, this guy fits in the team. That's when Tuchel should be more involved. That's when the manager should be involved. You don't need scouts to put these players in the window and say, hey, what about him? It's the manager that's going to see that, you know, this guy I can really work with this person, or the people in the dressing room know him already, and they can already go. There's chemistry there. There's a whole bunch of factors beyond the scout. The scout is meant to find you that player that you never heard about, right?
Tuchel was the first team coach, so that's the difference. So he wouldn't necessarily be involved in that conversation. I think it's Peter Cech that's the technical director. That's maybe. Obviously, when they come on the list of players.
He's not even a technical director. And if you're going... That's in a very American model that you're talking about, where the manager just buys the players and the coach coaches the players. In football, it's very much entwined, and a lot of especially a lot of in Europe and that, or especially around the world, the manager is heavily involved. Or you get another model where we've seen the board just by signings. And we've been having that case where the board have been making their decisions because we don't trust managers because they come and go all the time.
So,
so that's where you can see some of the signs.
We need to move away from the Roman era now because things are going to change. The way that we deal with by bringing in players, the strategies, the ideas, whatever. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't even started yet. But things will change in this football club, and we'll get a real taste of it in this summer window. But what I will say, which may be different to the Roman era, is that I do feel that Todd Boehly, even though it's important to have a sporting director for the negotiations and things like that, I still think it's very important that, and I think Todd Boehly will do this, that you speak to you put the manager right in the mix of it to give the type of profile player he needs. Now, him saying he wants A, B, C, and D doesn't mean he's going to get A, B, C, and D. But if you know that that's the style of player that he wants to improve his squad, then you get your scouting department and you go and find options in and around them type of players. That's what the scouting department's there to do. And whether it's something that can be done in one summer window, I don't think so. It might be that they need to go out for a season and find these like young talents that, or watch a couple of players a bit more before they can report back. I don't know, but this might not be something we'll be able to do straight away. And that's why I'm saying I think we're going to have to be patient with it all.
I also do believe that football has now moved to this American model, not entirely, but slightly.
Can you explain that? What's that?
Where it is more focused on stats and sort of like computer-based analysis. I think there is a little bit of eye test kind of scouting where this player needs certain profile and this player is this profile and all that. But I do think quite a lot of the football transfers are down to scouting, like Liverpool, Manchester City.
Science now.
No, I think I'd probably classify this more on the data aspect of things, and I don't think so that it's just specific to football getting transferred. I mean, every sport, not just football, even cricket, baseball, everything has changed to this data run model now. So I don't think so. That's something that you could avoid. This is something that is going on along with the technology advancements and stuff. So.
Yeah, so I agree. I was going to say what RJ said, and to add to most of it, in America, why it's easy, and everywhere else would have picked up data straight away. The difference is in America, the sport is only played mainly there, right? They have a franchise league, so they don't have to worry about so many different teams, and some of the sports are stop and go. Do you know what I mean? And they're more heavily stat based. Now think of football where eye test has to come into a little bit more, or actually more, and there's heaps of other factors because there's so many different leagues, so many different styles, right? And that's why stats don't translate from league to league, and different managers, and the game is a lot bigger. So it's harder to really go off the data because it's so spread out and there's so many different factors. Where America have a controlled testing ground. So that's why it works. They heavily focus on it. Data was always going to be in football and every other sport, like VJ said. So that's why you need half and half. And Rams knows that anyway, because when the Fenway group came in, I think they tried to do it more, and there was a learning curve to it, right? And they eventually got better and better. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of clubs. They have different variations of it. So
let's go to score predictions because I've got to shoot out. That's why I'm in a bit of a rush at the moment. But yeah, give us score predictions for the game, please. Declared.
I think it's going to be a pretty open game. I'll go 3-2 Chelsea.
3-2 Chelsea is what Declared saying, Matt.
2-0. Keep a clean sheet. Let's go.
Mendy clean sheet, yeah? Okay, cool. Sportswire, what are you saying?
Kepa gets a clean sheet. He's on the bench.
Chelsea clean sheet.
2-0. Rodrigo?
Oh, I don't do score, but because this is a pointless game, so 1-1.
That's
Rams?
No, you're going to annihilate Leicester.
You always do.
3-0.
I'm going to go...
It's at home as well, man. Come on.
I'm going to go with 4-1 Romelu Lukaku hat-trick.
Oh, let's go.
You know, my this is called hat-trick, 1-0,
2-1. 2-0s, 2-1s, 2-0s.
I'll be surprised.
Anyway, all right, guys. Smash the like button. Get this over 100 likes. Subscribe if you do. I won't be around tomorrow because I'm going to see my new house before I move into it next week. So I'm going to see that. I'll watch the game tomorrow, and then I'll be back for the match reaction on Friday, guys, as well. So big up to every single one of you. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe. Go and check out Matt on his channel. Matt, where can they find you?
Right there.
There you go. At ZVOII. So 140 of you here. Go and subscribe to him as well. Sportswire, are you still doing your YouTube as well?
Yes, I am.
What is it? What's your YouTube?
Yeah, you just talk. You just call it out. Sportswire.
Right. There you go. It's all there. It's all in the tag, guys. So if you want to go and follow these guys, check them out. I'm sure they're going to do their previews for the games as well. So go and follow them and watch them and support them as well. I don't know who that is at the back, Sue, but I'm
W. There's only one person. That's W.
Or Johnny.
I don't know who that is. I think that's just a random person, that is. But anyway, guys, smash the like, subscribe. Be back on Friday. Up the Chelsea. Let's get this win. And any more transfer talks that come back, then we'll be talking about that before the match reactions. So see you later, guys. Peace out.
Have a clean sheet.
Soon.